Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final edition of the year of On My Hoops. Once again, I'm your host, John Jay, and with me, as always, is the great D Snow from the Go. Holla at him, Snow.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Man, we just want to send a little love out to everybody. It's nice to have y'all back in the house checking us out, and hope everybody Christmas went well, man. How was your Christmas, Jay?
Man, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. Another year, I just can't help but to be thankful, man. It was a blessing. It was a blessing, and also a wonderful year of hoops, man. We got a special year-end review show for you guys tonight. We're going to go over the hottest moments of 2022, the calendar year. And we also going to hit y'all with some, once again, way too soon MVP rankings and a rookie report. And then we're going to look ahead to the first part of 2023. But before we jump in, ladies and gentlemen, please give us a like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, man, tell the world, man, help us get that algorithm going and taking off for the new year. 2023 is the On My Hoops year. What you think about that, Snow?
About that, man. It is free to like, share, and subscribe. And we all love hoops, and it's a great hoop season. So, man, if y'all like what we're talking about, man, please, like, comment, share. Hey, if you got a question, let us know so we can go ahead and bring it to the forefront. We're not know-it-alls. We're fans just talking sports just like y'all. But year 20 of LeBron, man. I know we got a lot to get into, man. And, calendar date for this is December 31st. 2022, so this is New Year's Eve, man. Yesterday was LeBron's birthday, and the numbers he put up, that was just, not only did he put up the numbers, but they won too, and that's important for me because, we always talk about, numbers that don't mean anything, and LeBron not only pulled his team by his bootstraps last night, but he got it out the mud, and it was vintage LeBron last night. It was something to see on his birthday, man. What did you think about that last night's performance?
I thought it was masterful. They said before the game, he told Schroeder he was going to drop 40. So, LeBron doing LeBron things, and it was a high for his birthday. That was the most points he's ever scored on his birthday. So, shout out to him, man. Fine, aging like fine wine, man. Father Time is losing this battle.
Hey, to all you young, man, not only hoopers, to all you young athletes out there, spend the money to take care of your body. You got two different sides. You got the D Roses who didn't take care of his body, ate candy, didn't eat right, didn't do the right things in the beginning of his career, and it broke him down. LeBron has always done right. He's always ate right. I think the numbers out there between $1 to $2 million he spends a year on his body. So It does matter to take care of your temple. So I just want to make sure you young guys hear that, man. What LeBron is doing, he's actually, to me, putting up a new staple when it comes to longevity in sports and being able to still do the things he's doing at that age. I think it's great for the game. And I'm just loving it. As an old guy, him, Brady, guys like that, to see them still, he's not as old as Brady, but you know what I mean. 20 years in the league is a long time. You 100%. Rank him up against other guys. Nobody's doing what LeBron is doing right now. And I know the Lakers aren't where they need to be because of the AD injury, but you have to stop and give LeBron his props. He's 528 points away from breaking the record, and at the pace he's on right now, he's going to break the record this season,
Yeah, he might, at this pace, break it maybe a little bit after the All-Star break. Yeah. Within the next 20 to 22 games or so, he should have that thing.
And that's a big feat. The Kareem was one that people thought never would get touched. They thought no one would ever get to that point. No one would ever get most points. And no matter what you can say about how many games he's played, all that other stuff, man, still, you got to put the ball in the hoop. You got to put the ball in the hoop. So.
Absolutely. So shout out to him. He is almost the all-time leader in scoring. And when that happens, we absolutely will give him his dues and his respect on my hoops.
Yes, sir.
So that's something to look forward to in 2023.
Yes, sir. Shout out to LeBron, man. We watching, bro.
But while we on a one masterful feat in this 2022 calendar year, let's look back some of the best moments of this calendar year, not just the 22-23 NBA season, but the end of last season as well, all from January through December. And I think I want to start off with probably the without a doubt the best performance of the entire calendar year, and it just happened a couple days ago, and that was Luka Doncic versus the New York Knicks. Ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't paying attention and you didn't see that performance, we saw the first ever 60-point triple double, 60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals and a block for good measure in 47 minutes, and including a soul snatching game tying bucket to send it into overtime for a come from behind victory for the Mavs. What did you think about that game, Snow?
Now, everybody that knows me, that watches the show, if you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, if you're in the groups we're in, y'all know I've been preaching Luka Doncic from the beginning of the season. I know that the NBA has been pushing him the last couple of years. So, okay, I didn't start the trend. We all can kind of see him trending in that direction. But I saw something over the summer, with the Euro League and all of that, and the things he was doing, World League, whatever. He just looked different, and he just had this different step, a different bounce in his game. And I mean, he's had a couple of, like 40-something games. He had a 50-point game, triple-double. But that 60 and 20, that's different, man. That's the first time a guard has ever put up numbers like that. A guard
first time nobody has put up numbers like that. Nobody ever. That was the first period.
This is the thing I look at, because guys try to say, oh, he's a gun, oh, he's ball hogging. But if you watch the game, it's the way that they play. This is their offensive scheme. This is what Jason Kidd is drawing up and how he's drawing it up to be. That he brings the ball down, he runs the offense. As they collapse, he spits it around. But I mean, bro, the biggest thing out of that whole game that I took from that is at the end when they interviewed him and they said, how you feeling? He said, I'm tired. Hell yeah, he's tired.
Yeah. And then he followed it up with another 35-point triple-double in the next match.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. It takes so much energy to just put up 60 points alone. That's a nice work right there. Now we're talking about 20 boards. Now, that's a Dennis Rodman game, 20 boards, no points. But now we're talking about another 10 assists as well. I mean, and they win the game. They're down by 9 points with 35 seconds left, man. These guys come back and win in overtime. And the energy that he gave off when he hit that shot after getting that rebound off the free throw line was just contagious, man. You could just feel it through the arena, through everybody, man. And that's why they call him Luka Magic.
In fact, that right there was my lasting impression. As soon as he hit that tip in, the trying not to dance, but trying not to lose it, that was the image that will be forever burned in my head.
Dude, this is why Luka Doncic is my favorite player right now. It's not because he's putting in a lot of baskets. It's not because he's probably leading the league in scoring and all this other stuff. It's because this guy loves to play basketball, man. You can see it. He's having fun. Every time he gets a dunk or he dunks on somebody, he's like a 17-year-old kid. He's going down court like, did you see that? Did you see that? I love his energy that he brings to the game to be such a great talent, to be such a great player, to be doing what he's doing. He's acting like a kid that just got here and he's enjoying every moment. And the thing I like to do is take Ja. Ja to me takes it too serious. Ja's always trying to put it.
Ja has fun though. Ja has fun. I was just telling somebody the other day, I don't know if you recall back when they was when DeAndre Jordan was at the height of his career and everybody talked about the dunk faces. Ja has hella dunk faces.
Oh, no doubt. Now, let me tell you something.
Ja went up a couple nights ago, cocked back down the lane, and just let out and just looked at the camera and was like, "Oh shit!"
Talent-wise, they both have their own levels of talent. They're gonna take the NBA to another level with. But I just feel like Luka's having more fun. I don't know. I think it's because he plays so much basketball as well. He plays way more than the average guy, and it's just. You can tell, man, like he has a game plan and he has a mission. But yeah, man, I mean, to get back on point, I mean, seriously, man, that was a big time game. That's what the NBA is all about. You saw it in the crowd. You saw it with the coaches. You saw it with the other players, man. That was one of the best. I mean, yes, it's one of the best performances numbers-wise, but just seeing it. Because some games guys have numbers like the game Kobe had 81. He had that in 3 quarters. It wasn't like it was a game that went down to the end game when it shot, so it didn't have that pizzazz. This gave you everything, man. You couldn't write a movie better than what we saw the other night.
Yeah, it was a magical night, and again, it being a come from behind victory made it even more sweet. And against the Knicks, that also made it good.
I think that Kemba Walker pickup is going to be big for them, man. That Kemba Walker pickup is going to be big for them. That's going to be a.
We'll see. We'll see. I was kind of a little bit like, when they made that move because I like his skill, but he's not going to be out there enough.
The thing is,
he doesn't play enough.
Luka spells, bro. He needs spells. It's going to be times he needs to sit down, and you need the game to still be able to work the same way. Kemba is not Luka, but he can come in and continue to make the game push, continue to push it, be a point guard that scores, distributes.
Ability wise, I couldn't agree more. But there's no guarantee he's gonna be there to give him those spells. Yeah. That's my biggest concern is he don't play.
It's about being ready, man. And I think he's one of those vets that's been around a while. He wants to win. It's not about trying to get a contract or improve. Yeah. It's about winning with him.
So I hope it works, though, because I like both those guys.
Kemba Walker is a proven winner. He's won on every level until he got hit. So I'm not going to down him until I see something different. And, I've been rooting for those guys since the beginning. We just need the record to get a little bit better. But, yeah, man, great night, man. Great night all the way around, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And while we on Luka's night, there were a total of 3 60-point performances in the year 2022. The other 2 performances, one was by Karl Anthony Towns. You might forget he had a 60-point, 17-rebound night with 7 threes against San Antonio in March this year, March 14th, 2022. And the other 60-point game came from the enigmatic Kyrie Irving. 60 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and a block back in March. Matter of fact, the very next day, we had back-to-back 60-point games. Yeah. And that was against Orlando. So what did you think about those performances, Snow, if you can recall?
Being honest, when it comes to Karl Anthony Towns this night, San Antonio has not had a decent center in a few years. They don't really have any defense. We all know what we expect from Karl Anthony Towns. And he's just one of those guys that's, for some reason, he just never hits that peak where he belongs. Injuries click. I don't know. It's just something weird about it because he's a great talent. I'll never take anything away from who he is. He's a great shooter for a big man. He rebounds. He has a great attitude. And I ain't going to lie, man, to see him that night, I was expecting a lot more from him this season, seeing what they were doing at the end of last season. And I'm saying they play a horrible.
Because last season, he had.
They should be doing what Memphis is doing right now.
Because last season, Cat had an amazing year. That was probably the best year I've seen of him. Inside game, outside game, it was all working. And it culminated in that 60-point performance. But you're right. This year has been a slow start. I know he caught hell in all season between COVID a couple years back and then him starting the season sick.
Let's talk about weight. He lost a couple of family members too. Like he's been through a lot.
He went through a lot, but that's why I don't knock. But that game, that particular game was legendary from him.
Yeah, that was big time, and that's what people expect from him. It's kind of like what we were seeing from AD before he went on injury. We expect 45 and 15-point nights from AD, from Karl Anthony Towns. For those. This is what we're y'all supposed to be cornerstones of the league right now. The big men that are running it. But like you said, Karl Anthony, it's weird, man. It's just like off and on with him, but it could be mental. It could be something else besides the game. Why he's not able to just continuously just come out there and let it all out. He has those dud games, but I don't know. It could be Minnesota. You never know, man. But it was a great night out of him. But the other one, you see, I did all that to get to the end because, I am a big Kyrie Irving fan. I say this all the time. Kyrie Irving is the best talented basketball player in the NBA as of right now. When it comes to talent, you put anybody else against that boy, they're not stopping him. I don't care who you're talking about. Kyrie Irving is that good. And he can shoot from anywhere. He can get his shot anytime he wants to. He can get to the basket. He can go up and under. It's nothing he can't do. It's just the mental stuff with Kyrie. But all of a sudden, it seems like out of everybody that's going through stuff, whatever he's been going through, it made something click where he said, you know what? I'm going to just be about basketball. Forget running my mouth. Forget standing up for this and that. Because if you know anything about Kyrie Irving, I'm a Kyrie Irving fan. Kyrie Irving does a lot of philanthropy things off the court that he never talks about. He never puts it in the paper. He never tells anybody about it. He just does it. That's how you do it. It's not about doing something when people are watching. It's when they're not watching. So Kyrie Irving has always been a good guy. It's just what the media did because of the situation. But man, Kyrie Irving is finding his game, which we all expected. But I think he needed a little shakeup. I think because of the background, his lifestyle, and just kind of always having it his way, all of the trades and jumping back and forth, I think he never really had to own up. And this time it kind of smacked him in the face. And him and KD had to have a real moment after Harden left. And it makes me feel good to see that boy go out there and put on a show. Even though Nike's walked away from him, even though players and other people are doing all of this stuff, Kyrie Irving is bringing his lunch pail to get to the game every day, and he's giving you 30, 5 and 5, easy buckets, man. So I expect to see him drop another 50 to 60-point game before the season is over. He's in that kind of zone right now. It's just right now him and KD both averaging 30 and 32 a game, so it's like they're feeding off each other perfect. But you know it's going to come that time where they're going to stick KD or something. I think this is that time, man. Kyrie Irving was not in the MVP race. People have not been talking about him. And the reason why is because KD is having the best year he's ever had as a career guy. And that's amazing, man. We talked about this in the last couple of pods. This is the wrong year to be a good basketball player, man. Because this dude's like Luka, KD, Donovan Mitchell, Ja. It's dudes out here. I mean, I ain't even talked about what Giannis is doing, what Jokic is doing. My guy in Boston is doing. Tatum, bro, this is the wrong year to be a good basketball player. You need to be phenomenal this year because guys are coming like that. I can't wait for the playoffs, man. I know we got a long time, man, because the regular season is fun and all, but I think we're gonna have some real TV style drama when the playoff starts, man. I'm excited this year, man.
Yeah, no doubt. But just getting back to that night at hand, the 60-point night of Kyrie. I mean, if people remember, he started the season late. They had the whole COVID issue. So this time in March, it was only game 19 or 20 for him. And he did it in 35 minutes, 60 points in 35 minutes, shooting 20 of 31. I mean, that was just insane. And in a playoff race. So that's something memorable about that game, just the efficiency in which he scored and how quick he got it done.
Uncle
35
Drew,
minutes.
That's Uncle Drew, man. That's Uncle Drew night. It was like a movie or something. Everything was going in for him. But man, that's the type of player he is. Seriously, part of that Kobe tree, man. He's one of those guys that has the talent and works hard. So, yeah,
no doubt. So I'm gonna give you another stat line, a first time seeing a stat line like this on November 13th of 2022. 59 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists.
About Embiid.
7 blocks
Embiid.
And 1 steal. And yes, spoiler alert, before I got to the end, yes. Who is this? It is Embiid. Yes, Joel Embiid had an amazing night early on this season. Talk about it, D Snow.
Hey, man. Embiid, as long as barring injury, if he can continue to do what he's doing now, Embiid will be on that Mount Rushmore center. He will be there. Because he belongs there and he's doing things. The only reason why Embiid is not the best center in the league is because Jokic is just surprising us all. I'm astonished at Jokic at this point. I mean, this guy's averaging a triple-double. I know I'm going to get back to Embiid, but, I mean, Embiid, those numbers that night, man, especially coming off injury, he had been gone a few games. They've been kind of starting slow. It's a lot of chatter going on. Everybody's saying that, Doc's not the right coach for them. You know how they always talk bad about Doc. But, man, for Embiid to come out and especially to me, he was snubbed last year. Yes, Jokic had the numbers, but Embiid, to me, I think Embiid should have won it last year.
And I think it's arguable, the comment that you said about Jokic being the best center. I think that's arguable because a lot of people, self-included, I think Embiid might be better because of the defense. Granted, Jokic can run an offense. They're 1A and 1B. I mean, as good as Jokic is.
Way better team than Jokic. Way better team. And Jokic
No, not really. Not really. He got Harden late last year, but before that, he didn't have anybody.
We talk okay, but how they're constructed now. He got Harden. He's got.
Actually, Jokic has the better team this year. Jokic got Murray, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr. They're all healthy this year.
Murray been gone for 2 years. Michael Carter back is still somewhere.
He is back. Murray is balling. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Jamal Murray is back and he is balling.
Name me another top scorer on Utah's team right now.
Why Utah?
I'm sorry, Denver. Please forgive me. Paul. Name me another top scorer out of Denver.
Jamal Murray.
Murray for 2 years.
But Murray is back this year and he is balling. We talk about this season.
That man tore his ACL. We both know it takes time to come back. He's playing decent.
And that's why he's playing great. And that's why it took so long to get back.
I see that in you. There's nothing wrong with being an Embiid fan because I wasn't always an Embiid fan. I grew up to be an Embiid.
I'm a fan of both of them, but in my opinion,
I'm not even a Joker fan, bro.
As good as the Joker is on offense, is setting up the offense, Embiid has that on defense. Embiid is a defensive star. Joker has zero defense.
I give you that.
That's all I'm saying is that's why that's arguable because they are the same tier to me.
A better passer, better shooter.
Maybe. I think the shooting is really neck and neck between them two.
I'd rather see Jokic put up a 3 before Embiid.
I would too.
Shot he be throwing up.
I would too, but then I also would rather see it. But I also would rather see Embiid banging on the inside.
And that's what I'll give him. He does, and that's what he's doing this year. He's playing inside and out, and that's what we want to see from him. Yeah. Not just out there because a lot of these guys are falling in love with that 3-point line. He wants, man, he's shooting, man, if you look at his shot chart, it's all around the paint, that little jump shot from the free throw line, from the baseline. He's posting little finger rolls, little hook. I mean, Embiid has a full game, man. I'm not, and that's why, like you said, it could be 1A and 1B. Those guys are just, it's just, like I said, man, they just run into each other at the same time, man.
But that just proves the point I was just trying to make, that it's arguable who's the better between the two. That's a legit argument for either side.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm talking about phenomenal though. And while we talking about the Joker, he had another memorable game. If we go all the way back to March 6th of 22 against the New Orleans Pelicans without Zion, this was last season, 46 points.
The one he just had too?
Huh?
Did you add in the one he just had too with the 25 assists or whatever the crap that was?
Well, yeah, we could talk about it. We wasn't on that yet, but you can mention that one too. But this one in particular, 46 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, and 4 blocks. I mean, that's a hell of a stat line. But go ahead, talk about this game or that one he just did.
I mean, not only is Jokic like one of the baddest MFers on the court, he also got 2 brothers that's pretty tough from what we hear too. So, I mean, Jokic is the guy that you want to know more about. Like, he's intriguing. And he's the type of guy that got it out the mud. Like, he's always been a decent player, but the last few years, you could tell, like, and I saw a story about that. He told somebody, I want to get better. And they got in the gym with him and just, they worked on his body, worked on this, and boom, all of a sudden you start seeing the results. But, I mean, man, Jokic is like, and I'm going to say this right now, too, and you can hold me to it. No matter what, he's not going to win the MVP again this year. I've been watching NBA basketball for a long time. If they wouldn't give it to LeBron 3 times in a row, they wouldn't do it for MJ. They wouldn't do it for Kobe. They're not going to do it for him either.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot more people think he deserves it this year. I'm not in the same camp because he has more help this year.
That we know LeBron deserved it, he didn't get it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Kobe, but I'm just saying, though, I think he has a lot more help this year. So there's a couple guys that I put in front of him.
Man. You got me want to pull up their roster. Help. What are you calling help? Hold
on. Have you not been watching?
What is help to you, though? I want to hear what you call help, though. Because you're saying that Utah Jazz, I mean, the Denver Nuggets are a better team than the 76ers. That is
easily.
Yes.
Easily. Without question. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is a good point for you guys to jump in and sway this conversation, who has a deeper roster between the Denver Nuggets and the Philadelphia 76ers? Man, I think without a doubt.
Top down, like that's ludicrous. That is ludicrous.
That's a squad over there, man. It's a reason why they didn't. It's a reason why they tied for first in the West. Now, it's not just the Joker.
So look, I'm gonna run down they squad to you. They start lineup as Jokic, Murray, Gordon, Caldwell, Pope, and Porter. After that, they got Brown, Highland, Ken Carr, DeAndre Jordan, which he ain't him no more. I don't know who C. Braun is because it's a lot of young dudes now. D. Reed, they got the Najee guy and Jay White and Ish Smith. Now, most of the guys I just named, you probably ain't never even heard of before. Well,
actually,
unless you are a super NBA fan. I don't want to hear nothing.
Actually, Bones Highland is that Bones Highland is that dude.
What you try to do to us, man? Don't you ever do that to us as fans?
Torrey Craig still there? Or did he go back to
No, he's not there. He's not there.
He went back to to Phoenix.
Yeah, he's not there no more. So look, so now just to give you a taste, this is what we have Phillies coming out here. So they got Harden and B, Tobias Harris, they got Melton, and then they got PJ Tucker. Then off the bench they coming with Nguyen, Maxey, Milton, Harrell, Tybal. Come on, man. They have a way better squad on that side, man.
Not at all. Just because you put more emphasis on those names don't mean that it's a better squad. Don't you try to sway the vote like that. Don't be out here cheating on the list, man. But they both got a good squad though.
That was a good one, man. That was a good one.
They both got really good squads, though, and they should.
You go, really good squad. Quit putting those explanations on that. One has a decent team, the other team has a really good squad.
No, they both got a really good squad.
Hey, who next, man? We can talk about. Hey, but like we talked about with Jokic, though. Seriously, all seriousness, though. Not only are they having a great season, man. Like to see where they are right now when it comes to standing, going into the new year. Nobody saw that. People thought they would be top 8, maybe, but nobody saw them being where they are right now as a team. And as of today, they are.
Nobody saw what? Denver?
They the number 2 team in the West right now. And you saw them be number 2 in the West.
I think you're speaking for yourself with that one.
So you saw them.
Denver is a team that was projected to win before Murray got hurt a year and a half ago. 3 straight years, Denver was a favorite to go to the finals.
See, you living in the past, man. We're talking about right now. Like,
you gotta understand. Just because you don't look at the past to figure out the future, don't mean other people don't. I look at that and thought that when those guys come back, that is one of the scariest teams in the league.
That's like when I say this. As much as I'm a Pelicans and as much as I'm a Zion fan, I ain't see them being number 1 in the West right now. I didn't see them beating good teams.
No.
Putting up the numbers. I saw them doing decent. But
I didn't have them leading the West. I didn't have them lead. Now we did have them high top 5 in the West.
On what's his name from Minnesota the other night, and that boy put his head down like he was a god.
Yeah. We did have them high, but no, we didn't have them winning the West. But I disagree with nobody thought Denver could. I think a lot of people saw this with Denver. I think a lot of people thought this was people were.
Murray was a threat, no doubt about it.
And he still is probably a bigger threat.
And we all love Michael Porter. Without the injuries, Michael Porter is a top 3 pick. He'd have been top 3 pick.
And even Aaron Gordon is probably having his best year.
Oh man, that John a couple of games ago.
Christmas, he went stupid.
We might have to check on that man. Oh my God, that reignited the dunk contest stuff. They were like, "Yeah, he got robbed."
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so let's move along because we just spent a lot of time on a few names, but another big performance we just saw from a guy that has been dealing with injuries and he's dealing with it again right now. But when he's on the court, he's one of the best players in the league. I'm talking about Anthony Davis. Back on December 12th against Washington, at Washington, 55 points, 17 rebounds, 3 blocks on 22 of 30 shooting in only 38 minutes. D. Snow, Anthony Davis. Talk about his effect in that game for your Los Angeles Lakers.
right when that injury came out, we were getting ready to set up for the new party for the the holidays and stuff, and I was ready to put him in the MVP race, even though the Lakers haven't been where they needed to be. He was turning them around single handedly. Yes, LeBron is there and he's doing his thing, but they are a different team. That team is built to win around AD, and AD it's like he came out and it's crazy because it's been like that with him his whole career. I mean, I'll never forget, he was the first person to put up 50 points in an All-Star game. And it was easy. It was just one of those nights where he just could drop anything he wanted to. And that's the thing, man. Like, AD really started to, I don't know if somebody got in his ear and said, look, man, it's time for you to, because I remember in the beginning of the season, he said himself, oh, I'm going to play 82 games this year. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But
that's not in his control.
But I love the point that he had that mindset that this is what he wanted, though. That he wanted that. But I really truly believe that his body won't allow it. I don't think his body can play 82 games. I don't think his body can do 60. I think for some reason we all watch basketball. Every time he either comes down off a rebound, gets fouled or anything, and winces, we all wince with him. Like, oh, here we go again. Yeah. Every time. You're never like, oh, he okay. Every time he falls, you're like, uh-oh. And then I said, it's man, bro, like, he's such a great player, man. Such a great talent. I really feel bad because I feel like the Lakers gave up so much to get that one ring. If he can give us 75% of what he gave us that season, he can, but he hasn't been available none of the last 3 years, including now he's not indefinite. So it's so tough for me to give him some love when as soon as he finally peaked like we thought he would, he went down like he always does. It was like an airplane crash, for real. It's like we saw him going up, he was ascending into the air, and all of a sudden, boom, Yeah. And my heart goes out to the guy because he's a great player. I know he wants to be out there. It's affecting the Lakers. It's making LeBron have to do way more than he needs to do in year 20. And that's tough, man, to see a guy that talented, to see a guy that great that should be in the MVP race down, in street clothes again,
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And just another quick rundown. I'm going to give you some just real quick, some quick games since we're kind of running out of time on this. Devin Booker had a couple 50-point performances this year.
Yeah.
Shout out to Devin Booker against New Orleans and against Chicago.
Yeah.
LBJ had one against those Golden State Warriors, 56-10 back in March. Ice Trey, too cold. Ice Trey, he had one against Portland, 56 points and 14 assists. Beginning of the year, January 3rd. So let's see if calendar year rolls around. Let's see if he about due for another one. KD had him one against Atlanta, 55.7 rebounds. We've had a couple 40-point triple-doubles this season. This year. Shout out to Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Ivica Zubac, the big man for the Clippers on November 22nd. This man hauled down 29 rebounds.
He almost had a 30-30.
31 points and 29 rebounds, man.
One rebound away from having his own personal 30 for 30. I'm not going to lie. That was crazy. But, man, the NBA this year, man, with the scoring and everything, it's just nuts, man. It's nuts what's going on this year.
And then don't forget to shout out James Harden. He had a 2020 game, 21 assists just a few days ago. DeAnthony Melton had a 7-steal game. Jaren Jackson Jr. had an 8-block game. Robert Covington, and then we just saw the other night, CJ McCollum did the same thing. They had 11 3-pointer game.
And look, I think the biggest magic we've seen out of the end of this year, Nikola Vucevic with 2 blocks in 1 quarter. I give Vucevic the most grief out of any player in the league, and to see that guy play defense and block shots.
Yeah.
Bravo, my brother.
And we also had a few good we had some memorable playoff gems this past season also. Ja Morant had a 47 8-8 game with 3 steals against the Warriors. Jimmy Butler had a 47 9 rebound, 8 assists, 4 steal game in the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston.
Give me some more, man. I know you got more. Give me some more, man. What else you got?
Jason Tatum and Giannis, they put on a show against each other. Tatum with 46 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block versus Giannis's 44 points and 20 rebounds and 6 assists, a steal, and a block. Oh, my God. And then we can't forget, last but not least, in the finals, when it matters the most, the great finals MVP for this past season, Stephen Curry, the GOAT shooter of all time. 43 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 threes in game 4 of the finals. Greatness.
Put them boys to sleep. Put them boys on the pillow. Hey, that's one of the greatest moves after hitting a clutch shot ever, man. Hey,
greatness.
Hey, Steph Curry is one of the most hated by fans, players in the league. Yeah. But I got a stat for you that was funny that somebody read off to me the other day. Steph Curry has missed more games than AD in the last 3 years.
I could totally believe that. Steph started his career off injury prone.
But what that does for me is it shines on this man is the greatest shooter of all time with the most threes ever hit. The most, like, his numbers are outrageous and he barely plays. So imagine if he played.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, I mean,
you have to Steph Curry, man. You got to, man. He finally got it. That was eluding him. That was a big moment for Steph, man. So you got to give him his love and his props for that. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. And, man, just ladies and gentlemen, 2022 has been an amazing year. So I can't wait to see what 2023 has in store for us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we see something even better because we got a lot to top for this last year.
Yeah. And I think it's important, too, like with us doing a year in review, that we get some love to those teams, man, like I was talking about. You know, that's turning things around, man. Man, big shout out to my Sacramento Kings, man. I've been supporting them boys since the beginning of this season,
Absolutely.
A little bit last season. I mean, De'Aaron Fox, man, Swiper, he's really stepping into his own. He's starting to really, man, this last week, the boy has been balling out of control.
Did you see that little pump to the side? Looked like it was about to be a layup the other night, and he just cocked it back and just went through with it.
I truly believe that them picking up his buddy from Kentucky, what's the kid's name that used to play for the Lakers that they picked up?
Bledsoe? No.
His name slipped my mind for a second, too. But, man, I watched a couple of Sacramento games just to see how they look. Man, their backcourt is solid, man. Like, they play a great game. You know, then they got a couple of young guys over there. They got Sabonis. I mean, you see even Fox is saying Sabonis is top 3 center in the league right now.
Yeah, he might be. And then sticking with Sabonis. That man got a broken thumb. I thought he was supposed to been out.
Hey, man.
He just had 20 for 20 the other night.
Hey,
how do you do that with a broken thumb?
Hey, man, that's why I said, man, I had to give them some love, man, because Sacramento was one of those teams that they always start out slow. They have horrible seasons. You see them in every time it's a big game on, it's them. It's them against the Nuggets. It's them against the Lakers. It's them against they're in the great games we're seeing every night. And Fox is really, really, man, like I said, not only is he stepping into his zone, we talk about how, like, it is so hard to make the All-Star game as a point guard in the West. Man, his name has to be talked about right now. You know, with Steph being down a few guys, you got to be talking Fox right now, man. That kid is really playing well. And, man, big shout out to my comeback player of the year, you know, and to a guy that I'm, you know, squeezing into the MVP, man. You know, like I said, I know I said nobody started up with the Nuggets, but I know nobody saw the Pelicans being number one. Nobody saw them pulling it together with C.J. McCollum. C.J. has been, let me tell you something. I really didn't think that was a great trade when they bought C.J. in. But C.J. has been a big brother, a leader. He is really the leader of that team. And he's really gelled those guys together because Brandon Ingram is a quiet assassin. He's the guy that's just going to come do his job. Same thing with Zion.
He ain't even been playing. They've been understaffed, shorthanded without him.
El Dorado, that little scrappy dude, man. You saw he had like 30
You seen a nickname for him?
What they call him?
Grand Theft El Dorado.
Like that.
Oh no, Alvarado. Grand Theft Alvarado.
It goes to coaching, man. They got a great coach out there, you know. And this is a couple more because I think it's so important, man. The Trailblazers, man, that's so nice to see my man Chauncey Billups finally get his shot. Yes, they were doing a little bit better in the beginning of the season, but Dame's been in and out. To me, Simons has been very inconsistent. His shot selection is ridiculous right now. Somebody needs to get in his ear.
But he has improved since he got in the league, though. It's been a steady little climb.
But I like Simons. I love his game. But they shouldn't have lost the last game they played. The last game they played, they were winning, and they lost that because they started double teaming Dame. He had to feed him, and he was just taking horrible selections. I mean, shots that let's find an easier shot. We're winning. There's no reason to shoot from 50 feet away. I hate these guys want to be Stephen Dame. But I really just, like I said, this, to me, just seeing Chauncey's a guy that's always get a lot of love when it comes to coaches, but he never got a shot. To see him out there doing well, I mean, they got Grant over there having a great season, Nurkic, they got a nice little team. I like what they're doing out there. And the last one I got to give some love to. I think this is important, man, because they get so much grief. Man, the Clippers are playing some ball, man. That's going to be a team people don't want to see. The Clippers seem like, we always kept saying, the Clippers. But, man, maybe they finally figured it out with Kawhi. Maybe they finally figured it out.
That's a team that we projected. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we both projected them to be very high in the standings this year, and they finally starting to round into form now.
I mean, maybe a month ago, they both were out indefinitely. Like, that's, as a fan, when you hear somebody's out indefinitely, that's a bad sign, But they went from out indefinitely to playing. So it's kind of weird. I think something's coming up in the bargaining agreement when it comes to all these games, because I'm not going to lie. 2 games, 3 nights, 3 games in 4 nights, that's too much, bro. They got to find a way to space this out a little bit more or shorten the season. I used to be against it, but now I understand. Because guess what's happening? When you get all these games crunched in like that, you might go pay your $500 a ticket to go to a game that somebody you want to see is not going to show up to. So something has to be done where we can enjoy the game, get the guys we want to have out there without them feeling like they need to take off to preserve their bodies,
Yeah, I do think it's a little bit better this year than it has been in recent years. They've tried to cut down a little bit on the travel with some of these games. I'm not going to say that's fully done the trick, but you're not going to have an injury-free season. It's going to happen. Guys like AD, whether they play 20 games in a season or 80 games in a season, it only takes one to go down.
Right about that.
But, there are a lot of back-to-backs and 3 games and 4 nights and stuff like that. It is hard. But I have seen a little bit of improvement. It's not as many people missing this year.
I've seen a couple of protocols.
It's been a lot of your usual suspects, and you're not gonna really change that.
Rest because of injury or too many games. I mean, they're actually putting it out there. The rest, So,
even with PG and Kawhi, because I'm with you. I didn't understand how they was missing and coming back together. It didn't make sense.
That was so weird, man.
But I will give credit to the fact that Kawhi missed the whole season, 2 seasons damn near. Paul George missed a majority of the season, so it's going to be some little bumps and bruises that take a little longer for them to heal.
Gel with the rest of the team, and it's looking good. Like, when you watch the game they play together, they look. I really think they're going to be tough at the end, but I just think it's important. But I have to bring them up, like I said, because Doc gets not Doc, but my man, that's a shame.
Step over, Ty Lue.
Yeah, Ty Lue, I love his coaching style. He's always been a great coach. No matter what, they always play well. But it's amazing to see how he's able to continuously deal with the injuries, keep that team rolling, and them being that, they're number 4 in the West right now. So, shout out to those guys, man. So, I already talked about the East. We ain't got to talk about that.
And they only a couple games out of first. Number 4.
Oh, yeah.
And another team that you didn't mention that surprised me this year, and they've been holding strong, is Utah. Utah is a fun team to watch this year, and they're still holding strong in this playoff race. So big shout out to them too. And Lauri Markkanen is having a great year, as is Jordan Clarkson.
They gonna drop some more. I told you they would, and they have. I told you this. I said,
but they've been sitting there where they at. They've been sitting there for a long time. Since you've been saying they gonna drop, they've been in that spot.
But they're not even in the playing. Well, they 10, so they in the playing at this point. But I told you they was gonna drop. I told you the Thunder was gonna drop. I also told you that the Suns were gonna drop, and they all have been slowly. Even though, like I said, it's not that these teams aren't decent teams. It's just that the rest of the league is getting better. You
Yeah,
know,
but it's more
the
than
only
that.
team the only team that knows how to tank is Detroit. They figured it out.
It's more than that too, though. I mean, it's Utah just lost yesterday, and they dropped like 3 spots from that. That's how tight. That's how tight the West is.
Yeah,
One loss will drop you big time. Like
if
so,
they win 3 games in a row, they'll be in first.
exactly. It's one of them. Like, but just the fact that they're in it, they still going strong. Oh, it's a surprise to me, and I like what I'm seeing. That was supposed to be Minnesota, and they took it from Minnesota. So,
I got to give a shout out to Zach LaVine too, man. Coming off that injury, all the talk, all the drama. Man, Zach had a great night last night. Last game they played. Man, I've always been a Zach fan. I want to see Zach do well, and seeing him come out and be aggressive and lead the team on an off night for DeMar, like this is what we expect. And he's been doing not only on his off night, on his good night. It's like he's finally starting to slip into his own skin. Man, like you said in the beginning of the show, man, this has been a great season. No matter who your team is, unless you are a Rockets or a Detroit Detroit Pistons fan, everybody else has had. Even though you don't have the greatest of records, y'all have some great wins. Y'all have had some great games. It's been just exciting to watch.
Well, even both of those two teams that you just named, at least you could see the future is bright. They got some hellified good young players.
When I brought them up, let's talk a little bit real quick about the Baby Brawl and the Malice in the Palace too. We got to get a little taste. The Malice, so I'm gonna throw this in your court. What did you think of that? Because I was upset. I didn't think it was right. I don't think Franz tried. He just gave him a little push. My man tried to knock him out. I mean, what did you think about the whole Malice in the Palace too?
I don't think it was intentional by Franz, but I kind of understood Killian's reaction because of how hard he went down. He wasn't seeing intention.
Yeah,
he wasn't seeing intention. He just dealt with the consequences. So he just got up and reacted. But I mean, I wasn't a fan of it. You never a fan of events like that have half the team missing the next game. But I mean, Franz is not that type of player. Now, when you talk about Grayson Allen, now you're talking about something.
Yeah, now Grayson Allen would have did that, then that's different. I wouldn't even be talking about it right now.
Yeah. Like that little move he pulled on Debo.
Yeah, let's get in the past.
And Stacey King said he needed to get a 2-piece. They was talking about that all on social media. They said the Bulls announcer just said Grayson Allen needs to get 2-piece. Yes, he does.
He do need a quick 2-piece.
But yeah, back to the topic at hand. One of our favorite subjects is this way too soon MVP discussion. And it's getting to the realm of not way too soon anymore. We're getting real close to the halfway point. So these are very serious contenders right now. But yeah, you want to get into your top 5 first, or you want me to go with it?
I'll let you go, man, because I'm always jumping out there. So let's hear yours, and then I'll roll in.
Okay, sounds like a plan. I will start off with at number 5. I am going to have to go with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is having an amazing season. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to warn you now, there is some shakeups in this. Some guys that have been on my list are not on my list this week.
Uh-oh. I like
it. Kevin Durant is having a great season. The Nets have won about 10 games straight, and they look unstoppable right now. They're starting to look like the team we thought they were. KD is averaging about 30.7 rebounds, and he's in the top 10 in blocks for a team that's had consistent turmoil for the last 2-3 years. So big shout out to KD for that. Now, next. This might be a shocker because he's been very high on my list, but they've taken some hits lately, and I'm gonna have to put Giannis at number 4. Giannis is still having an amazing season, but there's a few guys this shining just a little bright. But Giannis, 31.7 points, 11.5 rebounds, 5 assists, still having an amazing year. but the
Hey,
defense is not what the defense isn't there like it has been for Giannis. And they've lost about 4 or 5 straight games. So he's taking a little bit of a dip. And it's not that he's playing bad, it's just these other guys are out of their mind. At the 3 spot, guy we just talked about quite a bit, Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is having an unbelievable season. Only reason he's not higher because I feel like he has a little bit more help than most. There is another guy on my list with some help as well. But I believe that Denver has a little bit more. And Jokic scoring went down a little bit because of the help that he's getting. But 25.7 points a game, 10.8 rebounds a game, 9.5 assists. I mean, it's video game numbers for the Joker. And before I get into my top 2, my honorable mention is Joel Embiid. It's another team that's been playing good. He's missed a lot of games, and that's one of the main reasons why he's not higher on my list. He's just missed quite a bit. That could change later on in the season. We'll see. But number 2 seed, where am I at? Number 2 is Jason Tatum, the Boston Celtics. He has been my number 1 the entire year. He has led that team to the best record so far this entire season. And he's playing defense. 31 points a game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Like I said, they've been number 1 since the season started, with losing a coach to start the year. So big shout out to Jason Tatum. He does have a little bit of help in Jaylen Brown, another star player, which is the reason why he fell out of my number 1 seed, because Jaylen Brown has emerged back into the player that we've been expecting him to be.
Ooh, you ain't said a name, and I think you finally riding on the D Snow train. Ooh.
I'm riding on the one-man show. if I'm just gonna put it like this. Last year I was not one of them that picked Jokic as the MVP. I thought it was Embiid. Denver finished with about a 6 seed. I thought that was way too low for an MVP candidate.
Especially because Embiid carried his team to the number 1. That was
but
that's how Rose won that year.
That changed the rule book.
Yeah.
And if you can get in and it's a 6 seed, then I'm gonna give it to a guy who's had a better year than he had, with no talent around him. And that is the one and only Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is my front runner for MVP right now. 33.7 points a game, 8.9 rebounds, 8.9 assists, and he's playing defense. He's like in the top 10 in steals. And he's the one-man show. I mean, he's Mr. Everything for that squad. And y'all see the hat. I'm rapping right now. Luka Magic is my MVP front runner.
I love it. I love it, man. I finally pulled you in.
He pulled me in. He pulled me in. He pulled me in. But I will say, I've been saying since the jump, it's all about the record. The only reason why he wasn't higher, and I kept saying they hadn't won enough games. Now they like the 5th seed and only a couple games out of like 3 and 4. So it's time.
All right, man. And I love it. That's a great list. And all those guys are, like you said, it's hard. Like we've been talking about, man, it's kind of hard to lump these guys and really call it, but we just having fun and just trying to do something with it. So for me, number 5, man, Zion Williamson.
Okay.
Not only is he the comeback player of the year right now, but to me, with his team being number 1 in the West, we are talking about the wild, wild West. We're talking about the West where Ja says he runs it, but Golden State is the defending champ. But we also have some heavy hitters out there. But Zion and the Pelicans, the young Pelicans, are the number 1 team out there. Zion's averaging 26 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. I mean, shooting 60%. It's just, Baby Barkley, man. Barkley 2.0 is what I call him, and I love that kid. I think that kid is going to be something special. He's young, talented, and raw right now. He's playing. he's playing off raw talent. The boy doesn't have a jump shot right now. So once he gets a jump shot, it's going to be lights out. But number 4 for me right now, I got to go with Jokic, man. I got to get him in there. Jokic is not only, like we just both talked about, he's a great player. He's doing things that are just amazing for who he is. And when a guy that I'm not a fan of, that I wouldn't pay to go see, is putting up the numbers he's putting up and forces me to like you, I got to give you props. And that's who he is. Like we talked about earlier, I know you and some other fans believe that they have a great team. I don't. I look at him as like another Doncic. Like you said, he does have a better team than Luka. But I think the pieces he has, I think he makes them better. Without him, they're not in the lottery. You take him off that team has 10 wins. And that's just how I look at it. But Jokic is the type of guy that you got to give him your respect. Number 3, this guy has not been in my top 5 yet, but he earned his way on. He is one of my favorite players. He actually is my number 2 player in the league right now, who I love to watch, who I'll pay for, who I'll go get your jersey. And that's Kevin Durant. The reason why Kevin Durant is so high on my list, for one, he tore his Achilles, man. The Achilles is the sports injury killer. I don't care what sport you play. Anybody that's ever tore their Achilles, they are not the same after that, including one of my favorite players of all time, Kobe Bryant. For him to tear his Achilles a few years ago, yeah, it took a couple of years to finally get him back. But in the beginning of the season, they weren't even playing well. They were looking in turmoil, all the stuff with Ben, all the stuff with Kyrie, and he was in and out a couple of games, and then all of a sudden, it's like KD tightened up his shoes a little bit tighter. He went out there and said, I'm going to carry this team to the promised land. And, I mean, like you said earlier, they've won 10 straight games. He's having the best season he's ever had as a pro. His numbers are phenomenal. He's he's scoring over 31 points a game, shooting over 50%, 8 boards, 5 assists. He's giving you a block. I mean, KD is another video game, like we talked about earlier. This is the wrong season to be a good basketball player because guys are putting up numbers that you look at, you like, nah, he's not shooting 52%. That guy's not shooting 60%. That's unreal. But that's what KD's doing, and I got to give him his love, man. Out of all the crap that's going on, for those guys to be the number 2 team in the East, when the East is the toughest league this year, as we've seen. But number 2, I don't know how you dropped out of yours, but man, and yes, they did lose 4 games in a row. They won last night, though, so that streak is over. But for me, they lost 4 games in a row, and then they won 1, and they still have the same exact record as the best team in the West. And that shows you what kind of year that the Milwaukee Bucks are having. Giannis is not only carrying that team because Middleton was gone for most of the beginning of the season. I actually play fantasy basketball. Middleton has had a couple of games where he went over 12 and over. It's ridiculous. Middleton is trying to find his way, but they still winning. Yes, they have a nice core. That core has been together. We all know what that means to have a team that plays together. But Giannis, man, that guy, I mean, he added a jump shot. That means a lot to me. That guy, for him to be able to hit that jump shot consistently and to just come out there and just be a dog every night, he is going to give you his numbers. He never falls off, and I got to put him there. But Cole, I got to do a Cole. I got to do a Cole number 1. I know it's not possible, but I got to because to me, I think that Tatum deserves to be there because his team is not only number 1, he's playing well. His numbers are up there. But man, oh man, Luka Doncic is when it comes to most valuable player, when you talk about what that means to a team, to the league, that's what Luka Doncic is. I really think if you take Tatum away from Boston, they're still going to be in the playoffs. I think you believe the same, don't you? They might not be as high as they are, but I think they can still make it because of a good coach, good system. They have a lot of great players around them that's been together a while. Jaylen Brown is ready to step into that number 1 spot. I think Jaylen Brown has the talent to beat Tatum, but he's doing his job of being Robin. And that's real life, man. You can't always be number 1. Sometimes it's about making the ship run right. So for now, I can't be number 1, so I'm going to do this number 2 spot to the fullest. And that's what Jaylen Brown is doing. And I think that's the only thing that takes away from Tatum when it comes to being the MVP of the league because, that man, he has a Robin that can take his position. But, man, Luka Doncic, man, what more can I say about the guy, man? Just exciting to watch. I mean, the thing that's crazy, I've been watching basketball for over 20 years, and the NBA has always been looking for that new Larry Bird, that new great white hype, that guy that they could just ride with. And I mean, I have a lot of guys that hate when I talk about it, man. But you got to take your hat off to Luka Doncic, man. The numbers he's putting up, the energy he brings, just the all-around play, man. He's box office, man. Popcorn ready. He's that guy you want to see, man. Luka Doncic is the MVP of the year of the league halfway through, man.
Yeah, no doubt. So we both in agreement there. The Luka Magic is the top dog thus far this season.
Sir.
Heading into the 2023 calendar year. So let's
met on a lot today. We met on that.
yeah. So now let's look ahead at the rookies, the rookie report. The rookie report, and maybe some future MVPs. Who knows? But leading the rookie of the year rookie report is Paolo Banchero. He's been up there all year long, and I've seen nothing to take him away from that. Right now, averaging 21.1 points a game, 6.8 rebounds, 3.9 assists, and he's just already looking like the leader on that team.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Paolo.
Got to, man. And the biggest thing too, man. How many rookies have you seen come on the team with guys that are already kind of set and pretty deep? I mean, he's the leader of that team, and that's a big thing to come in as a rookie and be a leader like that, and for the other guys to allow you to be that. But you can tell he wears it well. On he just has this swag about his game, and like you said, I mean, we both have seen different things in this game, man. I really can't call it still. Like when I watch him play, the kid has a chance to be something, man. If they just right coaching, stay, avoid injury. Paolo is man, a great young talent, man. Shout out to my guy though, Ben. No, Ben has been consistent though. Ben Mathurin.
And that's the name I was getting ready to get to next. Yeah, Ben Mathurin.
I got because we both know it, man. Like if it's not for Banchero, for Paolo Banchero, that kid's running away with it right now because his numbers are there. He's playing well. The Pacers are a surprise team in the NBA. We haven't given him enough love today. Tyrese Halliburton, I dogged you in the beginning. I didn't know you like that. I've watched some games. I've watched what y'all doing. I like your daddy. Like, man, I see what they're doing in Indiana, man. You see, Indiana was talking about trading Buddy Hield and trading Turner, but now they're talking about re-signing these guys. But that's all because of, Ben and Halliburton starting, really pulling that team together. Seriously.
Yeah. Benedict Mathurin averaging 17.1 points a game, 3.9 rebounds. The number 6 pick is probably the leading 6-man candidate right now.
Yes, sir.
So he's having a huge year. Halliburton calls him Benedict Mather him. He is him.
Quiet guy, man. Not real vocal, but his game talks for him,
Yeah, big time. Another guy that's having a great year right now, great rookie. Looks like he's gonna be a star. And that team is without their top player, Cade Cunningham, and I'm talking about Jaden Ivey of the Pistons. 15.5 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Solid, a leader, plays defense. The sky's the limit for this kid. He's quick, he's shifty, he's got a bag of tricks. He's fun to watch. Another guy that's been creeping up the list is Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray's averaging about 12 a game, 4 rebounds.
Young players on that uprising Sacramento Kings team,
Yeah. And the month of December, Keegan Murray is shooting 47% from the 3-point line.
Wow.
47%.
It is a lot of open shots out there right now because of the point guard play. A lot of open shots,
and the big man. And the big man. Don't forget that triple-double threat, Sabonis.
Yes. Hey, shout out to Sabonis with the broken thumb. Still going hard, man. Seriously.
And then for the Houston Rockets, Jabari Smith Jr. started off a little bit slow, but he's been coming on of late. 12 rebounds, 12 points a game, 7 rebounds. Defense is looking good, blocking shots. Number 3 overall pick is starting to show why he was the number 3 overall pick. Once he adds a little bit of weight to his wiry frame, I think he's going to be a problem for the league.
I believe the same. I like his game. Just need some weight on him.
Yeah,
Weight
and
on
then
him.
couple of honorable mentions that have starting to shine, starting to show out of late, and that's Jalen Duren, who has worked his way into that starting lineup. 7.5 points, 8 rebounds, some blocks, 68% from the field in December. This guy is like maybe a baby Dwight when he came in the league.
Yeah, I like his game, man. Tough guy.
Yeah,
He's like a bigger what's my man Ben Wallace? Like a bigger Ben Wallace, though. You know that
yeah,
same type of toughness, grit, rebound, play defense. I like his game.
yeah. So the sky's the limit for that young team. And then last but not least, well, actually, I got one more guy I'm gonna mention after this, but AJ Griffin. AJ Griffin for the Atlanta Hawks has hit some major shots, including a game winner against the Bulls and a game winner against the Nets in the same fashion. He is starting to shine. He's averaging about 10.7 points a game. And he's almost shooting 50, 40, 90. I know it's a small sample size, but
we both play sports. We watch a lot of sports. It takes ice cold veins to hit a game winning shot. I've seen guys freeze up at a free throw line for the game winner. To hit those, they do it twice as a rookie. That's big.
Against
that's
two playoff teams, not just any team. Against two playoff teams.
We're talking about really, really big shots and big moments. So, and on the road. Yeah. So yeah, you got to give him some love, man. Because I didn't know the kid. I didn't really know that kid until the season. But the more and more I see, he's the kid that other kids know. Like, he's a name that's been talked about. So he is a name to watch out for.
Yeah, and then the last one I'm gonna get into before we get up out of here, Walker Kessler for the Utah Jazz. His stats not gonna knock you out, but if you watch him play, that kid has played some really good defense. Only 6.8 points and 6 rebounds, but he blocks shots. He's shooting 76%.
Yeah.
He's making things easier for Lauri Markkanen down now. So big shout out to that kid.
And it's just like we talked about before, man. The league is in good hands, man. You know, when you look, I'm like, are they still doing the rookie sophomore game, or did they trash that too? Because I know they trashed a lot, but like,
no, they do. They usually do U.S. against international now.
Because I truly enjoy seeing those because those second year players, you can see that step in them being in the league another year and how they're able to bring that into that game. You know, but we have a nice batch of really good rookies. Like, I'm excited to see what the NBA is going to do All-Star break with that, because the NBA is in good hands when it comes to the young players, man. We have a lot of great up-and-coming young players, some guys that we don't know about, some that we do, that are going to start to make their mark on the league in the next coming years, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before we get out of here, we're going to give y'all a quick little what to look for in this coming week to start the year off. Couple quick games. Starting tomorrow, January 1st, Sacramento at Memphis. Who you got in that game, Snow? Real quick.
Hey, you know I'm going Sac-Town. I believe.
You going Sac-Town? I'm going Grizz.
Memphis is on a nice high. They're playing well, but hey, I think because the last time they played, Sacramento beat them. So. I mean, it's not like I'm just going off what I think could happen. They've already proven it. And that game was a great game. And I'm expecting to see Sacramento continue to play well. I think they're starting to believe that they're better too. I think they're starting to believe in themselves, and that's half of the battle.
Yeah, they're playing some good ball. Also that night, later on, actually same start time, Boston traveling to Denver. Who you got in that game?
Got to go Boston, even though Jokic is starting to really do stuff that's just outlandish. But the way they lost the other day, when they were basically up 15 to 20 points most of the first half, and then turned around and gave that game away in the second half, I was kind of shocked at that, especially against a lower-level team that's not been playing that well. So, I mean, I think Denver is still kind of teetering on figuring out where they want to be when it comes to ranking. And I really think Boston is still just red hot right now. The games they lose are just close games, and any other time they win. So I'm not going to stop believing in Boston until they show me that they could be beat.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. That one is a hard one to call. I think I usually would pick Boston, but I think I'm going to lead with the home team on this one. I think the home crowd is going to be the difference maker. So I'm going to go with Denver on that one.
They got Boston got Horford back now. They got Robert Williams now.
Yeah, they got the squad. They got everybody.
They're just getting better without doing anything, man.
Yeah. But the next night, Monday, January 2nd, Chicago traveling to Cleveland. What you thinking with that one? Who you got in that one, real quick?
That's going to be a hot game. The Bulls are hot right now. They've been playing much better. They're on a little winning streak, and they are starting to get that swagger, and they're starting to figure out how to win and play well together. The rotations are looking better. Plus, Cleveland is on a little bit of a low. They've been losing a little bit lately. So I really believe it's going to be a tough game. The Bulls play up to their competition this year. The Bulls have a better record against good teams than they do against bad teams. I got to go with the Bulls. All
right. Sounds good. Sounds
you like
good.
that? Hey, your boy's starting to sound like I love something.
I like Chicago. That Chicago will actually be playing Cleveland this evening in Chicago to end the year. I'm probably going to go with Chicago tonight and go with Cleveland at home. So they'll probably split that back to back. Also,
man. Bulls are going on a 5 to 7 game win streak. I feel it, man. It's time for the Bulls to finally wake up. We're playing better.
I like it.
Yeah, I think.
I like it. Also, on the 2nd, Monday, the New Orleans Pelicans, a rematch. They're going to Philly to take on the Sixers again. They just played last night, and that was a hell of a night, hell of a game. Who you got in that one?
You know I am pulling for the New Orleans Pelicans and all. But now, where's this game going to be? Is it going to be in Philly or in New Orleans?
In Philly.
In Philly, I'm going to go with Philly. I'm going to go with Philly at home because they have been playing well at home, and B really brings it. It's tough to play in Philly. Like we just talked about, New Orleans does have a young team. They are going to have to deal with that crowd and everything that comes with going to Philly, and I think that's going to be pretty tough. I'm going to say Philly in a really close game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you on that one. That same night, we have the Atlanta Hawks traveling to Golden State. Who you got?
Man, the Hawks are falling off a cliff right now. And is that game in Golden State?
In Golden State, real quick. Who you got?
Have won the last 3 games at home. I'm going Golden State. I got to say, and that's the thing. Like right now, Atlanta, I don't know what's happening. All of a sudden, they have been playing some tough games, but Golden State, Jordan Poole is really starting to find his game. I think Steph being out is helping them more than hurting them. Kuminga's been starting to play a little bit better. Clay. Hey, Clay starting to find a shot. Clay put up 30 last night. Well, the last game. So, I got to go Golden State. I said they would be in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to fall out. I think they just went through a tough stretch. But, I'm going to go with Golden State there.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with Golden State, too. They just don't lose at home.
Man, the crowd, man, that energy, it's different at home for them. You saw that against Memphis. It's just different.
Yeah, then another rematch next week. On Tuesday, January 3rd, we got the Sacramento Kings traveling to Utah. Who you got in that one?
Come on, man. Y'all know, look, it's a shame, man, because I'm the biggest Kobe and Shaq guy, and I used to love the whole Sacramento Queens motto and all that. I thought that was the greatest thing ever. But, man, I really like what's going on up there, man. I really believe that, because Sacramento is starting to beat some really good teams, I think it's going to help them on the second half of the season. And I'm expecting them to not be playing, man. First I was talking play. I think they might be one of the top 6 teams, man. Seriously. I really think that Sacramento, with Sabonis playing up to par like that and what they're doing, they are starting to beat up on teams if you watch those games. Like, they are a really good team.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to go with the home team in that one. I'm going to go with Utah. And then on Wednesday the 4th, we got Phoenix going to Cleveland, and I'm just going to run through these real quick because we run out of time. Phoenix is traveling to Cleveland. Indiana Pacers at Philly. The Bucks at the Raptors, and the Nets at the Bulls.
That's going to be a fun game.
Absolutely. The Hawks at the Kings.
Hey, I'm going to put something out there, too, for you casual NBA fans that want to go to games. If you ever go to sports, any type of sports situations, basketball tickets are the most expensive, man. I have learned a hack, man. The best thing to do, get those season tickets, sell a few games here and there, you'll pay it off, man. I know y'all want to go see some of this action live. It's cool watching it on TV, but, man, Go to a game. I'm telling you, if you're a real fan, man, going to the game is 10 times better than watching it at home. I just want people to know that, man. You're missing out if you've never seen a live game. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, 100%. And then our first, our first Thursday TNT game, January 5th, Boston traveling to Dallas, and then later that night, the Clippers traveling to Denver, and then Friday, January 6th, the Chicago Bulls are traveling to Philly to take on the Sixers. The Brooklyn Nets will be traveling to New Orleans to take on the Pelicans.
Woo!
Yeah, buddy.
January going to be power packed.
And then the Cleveland Cavs traveling to Denver to take on the Nuggets. Miami going to Phoenix. Hey. And then Saturday, a week from today, Utah Jazz going to Chicago. New Orleans traveling to Dallas. It's going to definitely be a great start to the year.
At the end of this month, whoever's in the first places and stuff like that, I think that's what's going to matter going to the end of the season. This month is going to tell you who's who and where people are going to stand going to the end. I know we at the end. And I just want to say, man, I appreciate you, bro. I've enjoyed the show. I love our pod. I love our fans. We want to thank y'all, man. It's been a great year of us being back out here, man. I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you and everything you do for me and for the team and for the whole, podcast, man. I just want to let you know, man, thank you, bro. It's nothing but love.
And I appreciate you too as well. And I appreciate all of you guys watching and listening. And please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friend, man. 2023 is the year of On My Hoops. And from us here at the show, On My Hoops, we love you. And we out.
Stay warm, Chicago.
Happy New Year's, everybody.